For the economics in Kenya, invite them, ask them. It was long told that it would come to this end. We would get here. When they were loaning left, right, and center and misuse of funds, bringing the monies into businesses that do not give dividends in the most immediate time, then that was a good recipe for getting ourselves into a ditch. Today we have gotten ourselves into a ditch. They were making a lot of noise that the government is not. Where do you want the government to get the money? And the only thing is that you are not willing to take it positively. Even once you've been told that that is the game, you choose to say, okay, we are comfortable that way. So you keep playing the game, knowing so well that there is somebody that might be scoring in our goal, but it's okay. Let's just keep in our team and assume that he is scoring the other side. Yeah, that is the irony of everything here. So the cost of living is high, yes, but the noise outside there is more political than realistic. Of course, they are not finding a solution. All those people that are making noise outside here know so well that the cost of living cannot be brought down by making noise on the street. All of them know. Of course, they are legislators, and they know that the only way is to go back to parliament, sit down, come to a committee, make all the adjustments that are required. Today there is a budget that is supposed to be passed. See if there is something they really need to change, scrap off what is scrappable, and ensure that everything is fixed. Kenya is ironic. You know, even today we are having a budget of, I think, 3-point-something trillion. The taxman is telling us that they can only collect 2.98 trillion. We're having about 3.2 trillion to spend in our budget, 2023-2024. But the taxman is saying we are only able to collect 2.98 trillion from the taxpayer. And that is not like when the levies are in any way lowered. No. When the levies are as high as they are today, when the taxation is as hefty as it is today, then the taxman can only collect that much. And they have told you. So you're only left with, okay, if you want to bridge the gap, then you go borrowing. And of course, Kenya is not in any good shape to keep borrowing. You remember we're having loans, about 7 of them running to be paid, to be serviced right now. And that is one of the reasons as to why we are having it rough with our economy right today. So we are not likely to do another loan. And even if we are, then what are we doing? We are going to do a disservice again to the taxpayer, even double in the next coming. So why must the legislator not go to parliament and say we cannot do a budget of 3 points, this trillion shillings we are talking about, yet we cannot even service the 2.98 trillion, because we are not even so sure that that money can all be collected, because there is a lot of woes, a lot of noises outside there that the taxation is high, and we would really wish to bring the taxation down. And should that be affected by the, let's say, by the pressure of the mandamanos and anything, God forbid, then we are likely to have lower than 2.98 trillion collected as our revenue. So where are we going to get the other money? And when the politicians just choose to pass that budget that way, and then they wait to come to street and make a lot of noise and say that they would want to settle issues of unemployment, they would want to settle issues of high cost of living, they want to settle issues of high taxation, and they want to make life better for you, they're lying to you. But you're not seeing that, you're not looking at it from that, and they're lying. They know where to fix the problem. They're not going to that room. They're not intending to fix that problem. They're coming to tell you, they're coming to pose as if they are helping you fix the problem. They know so well you do not have the capacity to fix the problem. Make a lot of noise, make a lot of the mandamanos, as mammoth as you may want to make them. But it's not going to change anything. Budget is systemic. Budget is all about sitting down with committees, committal, sitting down with the people who are responsible and crafting something that is workable. This government is not a root of government alone. This government is not a Gachagua government. This government is not just a Kenya Kwanza government. This government, if you look at it, is an all and encompassing government, all and sundry. And somebody looks at it myopically, and we claim it's a root of government. How is it? In the Assembly, House of Representation, there is the root of action. There are so many parties who have fielded their individuals who are not in Kenya Kwanza, have fielded their representatives who are not in Kenya Kwanza. Not any of them are shut down from speaking, contributing, bringing issues on table. Even in the ministries, not everybody is a Kenya Kwanza guy. Why aren't people sitting down from away from politics and saying the elephant in the house here is the status of the nation? It's the solution to our nation, and see how we can solve this particular problem. But we are not ready to do that because we do not want to do that. So let us not be fooled that everything is going to be well. Of course, I'll be making another video with regards to the debt status of this nation. And you can never run away from that debt status. Let me just give you a hint before I get there. Assuming that today, as we speak, you went to your friend X and borrowed 50 shillings. You went to another friend Y and borrowed 30 shillings. Went to another friend Z and borrowed 20 shillings. Went to another one and borrowed another 50 shillings. So you have about 5 friends who have borrowed you money, and within your custody, you now have 150 shillings. 150 shillings to spend. On that very time, during that very moment, that span, you are 150 shillings richer, and you're able to do the things you are not able to do without even the first 50 bob that you borrowed. So you are able to go buy yourself, samosas and eat well. You can do some coffee. You can go to a movie room. You can have sweet life for a moment. Have some popcorns and some chewing gums and stuff. The moment you are spending the last 50 that you borrowed from your last friend, the 4 other friends you borrowed from prior shall have started asking for repay. And you might be tempted to use part of the 50 shillings to begin repaying the 4. And it's not sufficient. And it is worse that when you are given the 50, 20, 30 shillings as loan, you failed to use that to make it grow to 200 shillings. You only used it to do some or rather not investment, but you invested it, actually, let me just use investment. You invested it in some barren businesses, or rather barren transactions that cannot bring it, or if it is not barren per se, but it is investment that would only give you dividend after 1 year. Yet your friends would require you to clear, not to start, but to clear the payment of this particular loan by the end of the 6th month. So you have a problem. At the onset of the 4th month, you have to keep servicing the 5 friends using nothing, literally nothing you're collecting from the gains of your investment where you had put that money. So it means you need probably another loan to begin doing this, or you need to stop. But we have the security apparatus of this government economically. So the government has nothing but to come back to us. It's sovereignty. We are the state. It's not necessarily the government. It is the people. So it has to come to us, because Kenya owes all those other countries money, and we have to pay through IMF. So what do? Kenya has to find a way. Where does Kenya raise money? Kenya doesn't. You can't go to Dalaru to make tell Dalaru to make money to get. No. Kenya has to get the money from within its taxation, and that is what is now making the tax regime more stringent. I mean, adjusting some little increments on taxation, and also being so stringent in terms of making sure that everybody subscribes. You know, one thing that has made Kenya loiter in low collection of revenue is because the people, actually they're the who's and the who's, people who matter in Kenya, most of them have been evading tax. A good number, good chunk of them. And you saw it the other time when the people you didn't expect their names to be enlisted as failed to pay tax as per their obligation, failed. And when they were faced by law, then they started making a lot of noise. They felt that the government is targeting them. The government has been targeting the common man every day. The common man just doesn't have a voice to make it loud there, to tell other people that the government is targeting. I've been paying taxes. You've been paying taxes. Every other person has been paying taxes in their places of work, in their small jobs they're doing, and nobody has been making noise because we thought everybody is, only to the realization that some people have not been paying tax for a very long time, and they are making this noise today about taxation because they feel that it has been so tight for them lately because they are beginning to pay what they have not been paying. Of course, they have to feel the pressure. But I don't have a problem with that. Let them pay that tax. And the small taxations that have been added on top of every individual's income, it's self-explanatory. If you look at it, it's self-explanatory. For the economics in Kenya, you invite them, ask them, it was long told that it would come to this end. We would get here. When they were loaning left, right, and center and misuse of funds, bringing the monies into businesses that do not give dividends in the most immediate time, then that was a good recipe for getting ourselves into a ditch. Today we have gotten ourselves into a ditch. They were making a lot of noise that the government is not. Where do you want the government to get the money? Where must the government get the money? We have to service those loans. So if there is any way we may evade the loans, then maybe you give us your comment down there and we get to understand how. Or if there is another way we can service. I saw a friend of mine, I don't want to mention name for security purposes, but I saw somebody trying to come up with theories of some economists advising on how we are supposed to bring subsidies to the economy and then later begin to collect. Where do you want to get the subsidies from? If the last time we were having subsidies, it was out of loans. You know, people tell us here what they know will sound sweet for us, because when they tell us give us, we will be so happy, like, okay, so and so is starting on the podium, is our leader, and is saying the government is supposed to give us so that we blossom fast, so that we shall begin to give the government in small chunks thereafter. Okay, fine, a good narrative. But where do you want us to get? Even the one that we were given by the time we were getting subsidies, I remember the 100 shilling costing maize was a subsidy. And if you look at how it came, it was a loan. Seriously. So we go and pick another loan and pay the common man again? Oh, we are not careful. And we do not want to face the truth. And this Kenya, if you're not keen, afadhali yule mtu alisema ati this nation needs to be disbanded and every go. This country will be consumed by our loaners. It will be taken hostage so that we do not even have anything to operate. Our roads will be blocked. Our ports will be blocked. Our airport, our industries will be operating at the mercies of our loaners. Of course, most of the operations right now, as you look at them, it's like they are loaner managed. So let's look at it practically. And if you feel I am becoming too sensitive to the cost of living, you think I am living better. I'm not. I'm living, I'm self-employed. I'm not employed by anybody. Um, so if you're talking about taxation, okay, fine, I'm not taxed, but anyway, you are taxed. At least wewe uko na employment mazi. At the end of the month unangoja kakitu katakuangukia kwa mfuko ukwe tax. Mimi I'm not employed. But I'm facing it really. I am talking it the way it's supposed to be. I don't want to entertain any political gimmicks. And our politicians ambao wanaona kwamba it is getting hard and they need to go to the streets to tell us how hard it's getting, shame on them. They know where the problem started. They were there. Most of the politicians here were there in the 11th parliament. They saw everything happening. They didn't fix a thing. Sasa hizi wanakuja hapo wanatukwambia vile life is getting hard. Zile nyakati walipokuwa wakiambiwa maisha itakuwa ngumu. It's getting messy day by day as you're taking loans and not investing the loans properly. They were very busy trying to help Uhuru Kenyatta build a legacy. So he built a legacy. They didn't look at the legacy from the other side of the coin. How is this legacy going to help us in 2 years, 3 years? How is it going to help us bring back this? A stupid it only takes somebody who is so dumb to take a loan and you don't even have a strategy on how you will begin to pay 30 million people. You do not know how you will. There couldn't be even a single person in that house who will sit down with the government and tell, no, look, we are taking too much loans. It's going to be a burden in the citizenry. Can we revisit and see how we can stop taking the loans and we begin empowering the local market so that we begin to produce? We better producers than consumers. It is not good. So that is the status of things. And you guys, if you feel there is what I have said that is not right, I'm very sorry. If you feel there is need for us to look at it from the angle of reality and face it and push our leaders to stop yapping but go for the real solution, you can leave your comment down there and let us check when we come back. Till we meet again, your host was Catchman Sandy, and you are here at Sandy Speaks, where we speak the truth, nothing but the truth as they are. Ciao.